Hello again. Now, outgoing Eskom CEO Andre Ruyter's decision to leave with immediate effect caught many people off guard. His decision followed a television interview on eNCA in which he made allegations of corruption within the power utility. He was speaking to my colleague Annika Larsen in that discussion. Now, on these sudden developments, let's talk to Professor Zwelinzima Ndevu from the School of Public Leadership at Stellenbosch University. Prof, good afternoon. Welcome. It's very interesting times indeed in terms of leadership when it comes to Eskom. That's our focus this afternoon. They have a new board, for example, headed by Mpho Makwana, and now they're looking for a new CEO.
Good afternoon, Dan, and good afternoon to your listeners. I think indeed it's very interesting times that we see in terms of leadership within the entity Eskom. This is not something new. I think the leadership instability in Eskom is something that is well documented. But when the CEO, the current CEO or the outgoing CEO was appointed, we were told that they are bringing a person who's apolitical, a person who's a skilled businessman, who is going to lead this organization and turn it around. Late last year, a board was appointed, or early this year, and we were also told the same narrative, that this is a board that is competent, the board that have technical expertise and leadership qualities to lead this institution to greater waters or clearer waters. But we have seen none of that happening. In fact, this instability continues, and currently what we are seeing is what we call a leadership mistrust or lack of trust deficit in leadership.
Yeah, and I just want your thoughts from a leadership perspective. I mean, a leader gives an interview, in this case, Mr. Ruyter, to my colleague Annika Larsen, and then he makes all sorts of allegations and he doesn't name people. And then other leaders after that are now making all kinds of statements as well and claims. So leadership-wise, I mean, is this how leaders should be behaving?
Leadership is a process. Leadership is not necessarily a position, but a process. So what do you do when you are entrusted with the responsibility to lead? And one of the important things with leadership is to lead with integrity, honest and transparency. And that's what we probably are seeing happening. And of course, when there's these issues, when issues of this nature are raised in the forth, it would dent relationships and ultimately affect how one leads, because there are three things that you need in order to lead effectively. You need a leader, you need a situation, and you need people that you're going to lead or lead with. And once one of these connections is broken, it will be difficult for anyone to lead. And seemingly, in this case, it might have been triggered by the interview, or it might have been lingering around for a very long time. This connection is not there.
Yeah. Do we have the right processes in public, as you look at it, Prof, in terms of ensuring that the right kind of leader is given the right kind of responsibility? I'm asking this because now you are hearing all kinds of claims by all different stakeholders to say Mr. Ruyter was never good enough anyway, adequate enough for the role. And there have been voices recently as load shedding got worse and worse through 2022, right up to now, calling for him to step down.
I think that one of the biggest challenges that we have with selecting leaders is emotion. We use emotion really to select leaders and don't look for people who are fit for purpose. Or if we get people who are fit for purpose, we don't support them sufficiently to be able to execute their responsibilities and succeed. So if you hear noise that you like, you then support and sing praises of the leader. If you hear noises that you don't like, and these are influential people that would then comment and discredit or credit a leader. And that does not augur well for a confidence of a leader, does not augur well in influencing others and lead properly. And that's what we're seeing. So the issue of emotion, the issue of leading with sentiments rather than looking at competencies, purpose that one needs to undertake, and how that person would be supported to ensure that he or she succeed in the position that is appointed or to lead in.
Succession is an important part, I would assume, in any institution, any organization. When we speak about succession of leadership, especially at the national level. Some people point to how the Chinese Communist Party has been handling it for decades, that they know well in advance who's going to be taking over the reins of the party and who will be forming part of their Politburo and so on. Do you think South Africa should look, especially when it comes to public life and state-owned enterprises, as an example, we should be thinking like that to say, if now we are going to be looking for a new leader, where's the pool of this leadership where we can get succession from? What's your view, Prof?
I think succession cannot be understated. It's a very important phenomena in allowing leaders to take or to lead, and there's sustainability in leadership. But in order for you to have an effective system of succession, you need to also have strong institutions. In our country, seemingly, that our institutions are very weak, and leaders become these strong people. When they leave, they then leave a vacuum. We need to strengthen our institutions, ensure that people who come in and lead are not people that the focus is on them, but the focus is on the institution. Then whether we have a proper succession planning or not, the institutions will still weather any storm that they will be faced with. They are not dependent on individuals or a group of people.
Yes, Mr. Ruyter is out from Eskom. That's the point of our discussion. He was supposed to stay until the end of next month, originally when he resigned late last year. Now there's a new board, and the board yesterday said you can go with immediate effect. How fast? I mean, what advice would you give them? You said earlier, for example, take the emotion out of leadership selection. What else do you think Mpho Makwana and his fellow board members at Eskom should have top of mind in selecting whoever will take the reins at Eskom next?
I think, for example, I would not have ordinarily advised that they allow him to leave immediately, because that means that there would be no handover. There would be no proper handover. There would be no continuity. There might be people that would remain there, but symbolically, it's important for the leader to hand over to the next leader, and there is a proper process of engagement and finding out what are the pitfalls within the organization itself. What I would advise the board, because we are here now, would be that take your time, look for a person that is fit for purpose. Look for a person that would not be easily threatened by circumstances, by noises, some destructive noises that would be happening, but the person who will stay the course. A person that is competent, has the technical know-how, also a person that understands the business of providing electricity, also a person that understands how government operates. And if you have those, you might succeed in having a person that can water the storms that Eskom is currently under.